You are listening to Theoretical Insights of D&D.
Lord, give me a fireball!
Screw how hot your skin is, my bars are hotter. Let me tell you what this is. Let me tell you, you listeners, if you don't know what the zombie has packing in his decaying flesh, you shut up, cancer bones. You gonna be a zombie if that cancer doesn't get cured.
Hey guys, I'm Rob.
And I'm Eric.
Welcome back to another episode of Theoretical Insights of D&D, and today we are wrapping up the subclasses from Kobold Press for the Fighter. The other 6 we've covered so far have been kind of crazy.
And I may have cheated and looked at the first one a little bit.
Well, that's fine because there's 2 ways to do this. I like going in completely blind because it gives you a fresh perspective. Number one, it's kind of entertaining because half the time
that is true.
Whoever's doing it is going to lose their freaking mind.
Yeah.
Number 3, it's just you're thinking of stuff off the cuff. It's how would this be good? How would that be useful? Instead of it being a well thought out process and you're like reading a book, it's just straight off the cuff and it feels like you're having a conversation instead.
Well, let's just say I'm excited to see your reaction to the Shieldbearer.
Yeah, and that's exactly where we're starting today, is the Shieldbearer. Now, the archetypal Shieldbearer is a staunch bulwark against any foe. Fighters who emulate this archetype become one with their shields, bolstering their defensive power and even turning it into a crushing weapon.
Yes.
Shieldbearer. Beginning when you choose this archetype at 3rd level, when you take the attack action, you can make an improvised weapon attack with your shield as a bonus action.
Yep.
That's pretty good. That's really good because the only bonus action that you're going to have available to you at this point is Second Wind.
Yeah.
And the start of a combat, you shouldn't have to use that.
Yeah, and that's starting 3rd level, starting off strong.
Now, here's the question. What is the damage of an improvised weapon attack? Is it going to be a just strength? Let me look at the ruling on improvised weapons.
I think it is just strength. Your strength modifier.
It may be, but I know it's not the same as
Like a fist.
like unarmed.
Yeah. It might be a D4 plus your strength modifier.
Let me see here.
Yeah, but this starting
Okay.
off strong will be able to hit people with your shield.
Okay, well, here's what I've found on stackexchange.com, and I'll read it out for everybody just in case, because some of this stuff can get kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Somebody asked the question, I know what an improvised weapon is. A shard of glass or a tree branch uses a weapon, but what damage do they do? Is it up to the DM to decide what dice is thrown to determine the damage, or is there a way to always know which object does what? It depends on what improvised weapon you use. In the player's handbook, under improvised weapons, it describes how improvised weapons are ruled. Sometimes characters don't have their weapons to attack or whatever. So, here you go.
Let me pull up the rule book.
If they are similar to any other known weapon, you can rule to use that weapon's damage dice and whether the player is proficient with it or not. Often, an improvised weapon is similar to an actual weapon and can be treated as such. For example, a table leg is akin to a club. In the DM's option, a character proficient with a weapon can use a similar object as if it were that weapon and use his or her proficiency bonus. For any other object, you use a D4 as the damage die.
Okay, so basically a D4 plus your strength mod.
Because the shield being what it is would just be a D4, I believe. However, I would rule it as if you had a +1, 2, or 3 shield, then you would get a +1, 2, or 3 to the attack and bonus roll.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because it's not going to, unless you have a specialty shield.
Yeah,
with
a
like
spike shield or something like that.
A spike shield, I'd rule it as like a short sword.
Yeah.
So it'd be a D6.
A D6.
If you specifically had a shield created with a jagged edge, like a serrated, but a sharpened edge, and it was a tower shield, then I would possibly rule it as a longsword, 1d8. But that would be something that would not be cheap because it's making a shield and then giving it another,
Yeah, that would add a lot of RP.
it would add a ton of RP. So this class is already starting pretty strong with the role play stuff.
Yeah.
At 7th level, you gain Shield Wall. While you are wielding a shield, your foes treat the area within 5 feet of you as difficult terrain. If you didn't move on your turn, you have advantage on ability check or saving throws made against being knocked prone or being moved from your current location.
It's not bad.
That's not bad. It's not overly useful. The only thing that it's really going to help any is if they're trying to get away, but then again, that's only expending 10 of their 30 to 40 movement speed.
Yeah.
So they're still going to be able to get away from you. And you're only going to be able to get one opportunity attack. And by this point, realistically, if you're using a long sword or a battle axe or a short sword or a rapier even, you're not going to do any more than a D8 plus strength.
Yeah, and
if it's just the start of the fight, then it's really nothing to worry about.
And the advantage on being knocked prone is very situational.
Yeah.
It's good, but it's very situational.
You see, I wonder if there's a lot of stuff in Kobold Press that has, like, character level additives, like what we're seeing from the fighter subclasses and what we'll see in the future from the other classes and subclasses.
Yeah.
Because that would be really good against an Ajet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
It'd be really good against an Ajet with its sweep attack. However, outside of, like in regular D&D, outside of maybe a shove or a trip attack from a Battle Master fighter, there's not really that much that will straight up knock you prone. That's not a spell.
Thorn Whip, because it's being moved from your current location.
Well, yes, there's that, and Thunder Wave.
Thunder Wave, yeah. The more you think about it, there's quite a few, but it's still very situational.
Yeah, it is very situational, and realistically, unless your DM really is not worried about the damage that you're putting out, then I highly doubt that you're going to be able to stand in the same place the entire fight.
Yeah.
Now, if you were, for some reason, and this isn't a horrible idea for a build, but it's highly unconventional, is the least way of putting this. A fighter, specifically a Shieldbearer, but instead of using a melee weapon, they use a hand crossbow.
Ooh.
Because a hand crossbow is a D6.
Yeah.
That would give you your shield wall because you wouldn't have to move. And then whenever somebody targets you with something like Thunder Wave or something, if they try to get up to you to use a melee spell attack or weapon attack, and they're like, dang, I didn't get there. Let me use Thunder Wave. It doesn't matter if you pass or fail the Constitution save or not. You're not going to get pushed.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about using a hand crossbow is you use the advantage you get from picking this archetype, using your bonus action as a shield bash.
I know you main-hand it.
Well, if you've got a hand crossbow and a shield.
I mean, I get that, but you know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's highly unconventional and would probably never be used in an actual game unless somebody really did figure out a way to do it and do it well.
Yeah.
Right. But
so, I mean, you could start the round off crossbow, or start the fight off crossbow, and then as you walk in, drop and then grab your sword.
What was it that y'all fought in my game just a few weeks ago that everybody kept getting knocked prone? Oh, it was the Hobgoblin Devastator.
Yes, that guy.
That would be useful.
That would.
It did a crap ton of damage. I think it was like 4d10 force damage, but it automatically knocked the target prone if it hit.
Yeah.
This guy wouldn't be, as long as he didn't move, right?
Yeah.
As long as he didn't move, he wouldn't be knocked prone. So at 10th level, you get improved fighting style. So when wielding a shield, you gain the following benefit appropriate to your chosen fighting style: defense, dueling, protection, and 2-weapon fighting.
So you just get another fighting style, basically.
Yeah. However, with oh wow, wait a minute. These are different. Okay, so defense, when you are missed by a melee attack made by a creature within 5 feet of you, as a reaction, you can shove the attacker. If you successfully push the attacker away, you can step into the just vacated space.
Huh.
This is different than the regular
Yeah, that's
fighting
different.
styles. Dueling. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with a one-handed weapon, increase the damage you deal by an amount equal to your shield's AC bonus.
Okay.
That's really good. Protection. When you use your protection fighting style, you also increase your chosen ally's AC by 1.
Yeah.
In 2-weapon fighting, you are proficient with improvised attacks made with a shield, and improvised attacks with a shield deal 1d6 bludgeoning.
Ooh.
There it is. It's 1d4.
Yep.
Yep.
And you
It's
take
1d4 up until 10th level, and you decide to take 2-weapon fighting. Unless you want to homebrew like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
In which case, that would be really cool.
But I would still take it up a die, whatever it was.
So you know what's cool about this? Let me go back into the regular fighter stuff that you get.
Yeah, because I think protection just increases your AC by 1, but this
No,
actually
that's,
increases somebody else's.
That's defense, I believe. Let me see here.
Or is protection the one that you can
Okay, so
block somebody, block an
on the
attack
one,
for somebody?
what all's there? Dueling.
You got defense, dueling, protection, and 2-weapon fighting.
Okay, so here's the differences. Defense, while you're wearing armor, you gain a +1 bonus to AC.
Okay.
That's 5e, Wizards of the Coast.
And this defense, you shove and move.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Dueling in this one, when you are wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain a +2 bonus to damage rolls with that weapon.
And that was
And this,
dueling.
you increase the damage you deal by an amount equal to your shield's AC bonus.
Yep.
Wizards of the Coast, 2-weapon fighting. When you engage in 2-weapon fighting, you can add your ability modifier to the damage of the second attack.
And this improves
Instead,
your shield
this-
damage.
Yeah. And then protection.
Yes.
Protection of 5e, Wizards of the Coast, is when a creature you can see attacks a target other than you that is within 5 feet of you, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll, and you must be wearing a shield.
Okay, and this is
This one, you get
increase
to
the
raise
chosen
a
ally.
chosen ally's by AC by 1.
and
that's forever.
Yeah. I wonder, does it include the 5e, the Wizards of the Coast definitions with it?
I would roll no, because you get to take the fight. You get to choose a fighting style.
Yeah.
At
And then
what
you get
was
to choose
that?
another.
First level, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's either first or third.
Yes, at first
First
level.
level, okay.
Yeah, at first level you get your fighting style, and as far as I know, Kobold Press did not go in and change anything of the base class.
Oh, okay, so
As far as I know, I could be wrong on that. Mr. Fairbanks, if you are listening to this, please shoot me a message and let me know otherwise. But as far as I know, they haven't changed the base class. They've only done subclass stuff.
okay.
Now, like I said, I could be wrong on that. But,
Yeah.
but so you're getting, you could take
Defense and defense.
Yeah, you could take dueling, and then wait a minute. You could wait.
You could make this thing
No,
busted.
look. When you're wielding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons, you gain a +2 damage to rolls with that weapon. That's the 5e. You take it first level.
Yeah.
That means your battle axe. The battle axe is cooler than the longsword. The longsword's overused. Your
That is
battle
true.
axe is sitting there with one hand.
Mhm.
You make the attack. You get to add +2 to the damage roll.
And technically,
At
you don't
10
have another weapon.
Yes, at 10th level, you are not holding another weapon. It is counted as an improvised weapon when you attack with it.
Yep.
Because it is a shield. So you take the dueling that you get from the improved fighting style at this, and then you do your +2 with your battle axe, bonus action, shield bash. You're doing that's 2 weapons. You're doing 1d4 plus strength plus however much your shield might be, because it might be a +1 shield.
Oh, no, this is when you hit with your one-handed weapon, it increases the amount by the AC bonus. So that's a +2 to your weapon damage, plus
then a
whatever, plus your...
And a +2 to 5 from your shield.
Yeah. Good Lord.
That's really good. That's really good. And that's just off of two fighting styles.
Yeah.
That's not actual subclass modifiers. That's just fighting
Oh,
styles.
yeah, that is right.
I mean, technically, the improved fighting style is something special to the Shieldbearer. I understand that it's not going to be there for every other, fighter. But still, it's just the fighting
At
style.
level 10, your proficiency is what, +3?
Yes.
So you're looking at a D6 +3.
Well, no, a D4 because the two weapon fighting.
Well, no, I'm talking about the dueling.
Oh yeah.
You're looking at
Well, no, the
a D8, right?
for what?
For the axe.
Oh, the battle axe is a D8 plus by 10th level. I would say +4, and then +2 from dueling, and then from this dueling at least a +2.
Yeah.
So, let's say you've got a +4 to your strength.
Yeah.
That's a +2 from the base dueling.
Mm-hmm.
That's 6. +2 more from this dueling.
Yeah.
That's 8.
And
Plus
plus
a
your
D8.
proficiency. No, not proficiency.
No, and proficiency doesn't go
Yeah.
into damage.
I'm thinking weapon attack.
Yeah. And then you roll a D8. So you're doing between 9 to 16 damage with a one-handed weapon.
Yeah.
You are outperforming a greatsword.
And that's not counting all your multiple attacks you get per turn.
That's not counting the fact that your AC is automatically 2 points higher than it would have been if you had been using a greatsword.
Exactly. And this doesn't say you can do that blank amount of times per turn.
Well, no, it says once per turn when you hit a creature with a
Oh,
one-handed
yeah, I see that
weapon.
now.
So you'd only be able to do that +2 from your
But
this
still.
dueling once per turn. But by this point, you'll have 2 attacks per action because I believe it's 15th level when you get the
Yeah, I
third
think-
attack.
Yeah.
You'll have 2 attacks per action,
But
so that's
still.
going to be 1d8 plus 8, and then 1d8 plus 6.
You're doing 20 damage per turn at the low end.
Yeah, that's the low end because the lowest you can roll if you hit both attacks is going to be an 18.
Yeah.
Well, no, sorry, a 16 because you don't get the because you won't get that 2.
And that's just the weapon. That's not counting your bonus action with the shield that you get to take every turn.
Oh yeah, and then add a D4 with your
Yeah.
strength modifier. If that hits, we'll say it rolls a 1. That's another 5. So yeah, if you hit all 3, that is a minimum of 20 damage per turn.
Yep.
Shield the Mind. Starting at 15th level, you add your shield's AC bonus to
Jeez.
to wisdom, intelligence, and charisma saving throws. So everything the fighter's not good at,
It is now good at.
it's okay with because I mean it's only getting a plus. Well, I mean by 15th level, if your DM is lovely, you might have a +2 shield, so you get a +4 to that.
Yeah.
So it's not horrible, right?
That's
that's actually really good because one of the best ways to shut a fighter down is with intelligence and charisma saving throws.
Well, I mean, by this time you may have a +3 shield. So that's a +5 to all these.
Yeah, I mean it's very possible.
That is an artificer spark of genius.
Yeah, added to yourself, and then this artificer can spark of genius you.
So you could 2 and then pass something.
Yeah, because you get a plus. Well, it
That'd be a
depends on
plus-
what.
I
It
mean, it'd be
depends
a
on what
low
you're
roll.
saving against. You know, it'd have to be a really low DC.
Yeah, but it's possible.
Unassailable Bulwark.
Oh,
I like that. At 18th level, while wielding a shield, At 18th level, while wielding a shield, you have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks. In addition, when you fail a saving throw against being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, stunned, or knocked prone, good lord, you can choose to
Yeah. You have a legendary action now.
That is a legendary resistance for charmed, frightened, paralyzed, petrified, stunned, and knocked prone.
Yep.
After you use this ability once, you must complete a short... Okay, so that's not that bad. That is not that bad. This is possibly the most balanced subclass we've read so far, outside of maybe the Chaplain. Because every other one... Well, and the Clockwork. The Clockwork really
Clockwork.
wasn't that good.
Yeah.
It would be useful in the right setting.
Yeah.
But
it's gotta be the right
this
thing
is
for that.
possibly the most balanced. Now, don't misquote me. You can take a useless class like the 4 Elements, find a way to make it busted.
Yeah, any class can be.
Any
made good.
class can be busted. I mean, the Artificer and the Blood Hunter both are busted just from base.
And now you know why I like playing artificers.
It's because you don't know how to play anything else other than a druid.
I can play a druid and a cleric.
But this is possibly, I know we still got 2 more subclasses to cover in this episode alone. This is I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to make a blanket statement about this one. This is the most balanced and well-rounded subclass that Kobold Press is offering right now for the fighter.
Oh, but you didn't finish the paragraph. You
also have advantage on ability checks and saving throws against effects that would cause you to drop your shield. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Because it's that's just heat metal.
Heat metal or
a disarming attack, if I remember correctly, drops your weapon. It is specifically red.
I wouldn't drop your shit. Yeah, okay.
Let me go into the Battle Master, and I will read exactly what the disarming attack does. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 superiority die to attempt to disarm the target, forcing it to drop 1 item. Okay, so a Battle Master could try to make you drop your shield, so you would have advantage on that.
Yeah.
That's actually really good. None of this is game breaking. Absolutely none of it.
It all makes really good sense.
Prescient Knight. This is great. I love this subclass. Like, seriously, it is very, very good.
Would you allow me to multi-class Marcel into this? No.
Yes.
I would if it was the last campaign, but this campaign he's ranged.
Yeah. All right, so after the Shieldbearer is the Sunset Pikeman.
This is one I'm kind of excited about because I've always liked Pikeman and like.
Well, if I remember correctly, when we were playing Conqueror's Blade, it was Pikeman that both of us usually ran.
Yeah,
because they weren't so much the strongest because the archers were technically better.
It was hard as crap to hit with archers, though.
Yeah, it was really hard to hit with archers, but the pikemen were there. They were the up front, and, they kept people at distance.
They were anti-cavalry, too.
You are, or were, a member of the Sunset Regiment, so named because it's I was doing so well.
English, not English.
Rewind. You are, or were, a member of the Sunset Regiment, so named because its soldiers' service ends rather than being a permanent occupation. Trained in their pike and formation skills. You know that next to Corps' favor, a soldier's greatest strength is in their comrades. It sounds like this guy would get along with an adjet being in the party.
Oh yeah, this is a front line up there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Harassing strike. Beginning when you choose this archetype at 3rd level, when a creature you see enters your reach, you can use your reaction to shove the creature. To use this feature, you must be wielding a glaive, halberd, lance, pike, or spear.
That's not bad.
No, that's not bad at all, because let's look up the ruling on shove one more time, just so we can, kind of cover all this.
Yeah.
At once. Using the attack action, you can make a special melee attack to shove a creature, either to knock it prone or push it away from you. If you're able to make multiple attacks with the attack action, this attack replaces one of them. So you're pretty much you're making an athletics check contested by either an athletics or acrobatics check to either knock them prone or to move them back. I think it said 5 feet.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all.
That could be helpful.
However, starting at 3rd level, spear fighting, when you wield a spear, its damage increases to a D8 and its versatile damage increases to a D10. And guess what? It's still a thrown weapon.
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Pikeman with a
I can hear
backpack
King
full
Louis
of
in the
spears.
distance. I can hear King Louis in the distance.
Oh God.
Oh, ooby-doo. Looks at the shield.
Throw a spear at you.
No, he's sitting there looking at the Sunset Spikeman. I want to be like you.
Yeah, imagine a guy with a pack full of spears throwing them at a D8.
Oh, and then you're like, okay, well, if he's throwing his spears, let me just move up to him. If he's afraid to get too close, and then he's doing a D10.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, this is not how this works. This is not how it works. Formation Tactics. At 7th level, you bolster your allies when fighting shoulder to shoulder. This is exactly like the Ajit.
Yep, he would be perfect for the Ajit.
While you have an ally within 5 feet of you who isn't incapacitated, you can use a bonus action to take the help action to assist an ally's attack or an athletics or acrobatics check. Not overly useful, but the assist on the attack, that's nice because that would grant advantage.
Yeah.
Especially if it was a rogue, because that would give them access to sneak attack.
And that's a bonus action.
Yeah. Foe of Darkness. Beginning at 10th level, your faith and training make you a daunting foe of dark creatures. Once on your turn, you can gain advantage on an attack roll or ability check made against a fiend, undead, or creature of shadow.
Now, why couldn't I have this whenever we was in Jeremiah's campaign?
No, here's the problem, though. The samurai's already better.
I mean, yeah, but still.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what this class is doing, specifically with the glaive and halberd stuff, because there's not really that many people that use them. You barely ever see them. But samurai's just better. As a bonus action, you get 5 temporary health, and you automatically gain advantage on the attack rolls.
Yeah.
So the samurai for that, and they gained that at 3rd level.
Well, all I fought was undead.
Well, yeah, but we also lost our cleric like 3 sessions in. If we had had our cleric, it's turn undead.
Yeah, if we had our cleric, it'd have been much easier.
Yeah. Give ground. Starting at 15th level once per turn, when you are hit by a melee attack, you can choose to move 5 feet away from the attacker without provoking opportunity attacks. If you do, the attacker takes 1d6 damage of the type dealt by your weapon. To use this feature, you must be wielding a glaive, halberd, lance, pike, or spear. And I like that because because those weapons have the reach capability.
That kind of
reach
makes me think of those Chinese movies when they're swinging their glaive in front of them, backing up, like jumping back. That's kind of what that makes me think of.
Yep. Once again, not overly, not great, not bad either.
No.
Core's protection. At 18th level, you have advantage on saving throws against spells. If you fail a saving throw against being charmed or frightened, you can choose to succeed instead. You can use this ability a number of times equal to half your proficiency. So by 18th level, you'll be able to do it 3 times.
Yeah.
Once again, I mean, it's giving you magic resistance.
Yeah, it's advantage on spells. Saving those against spells.
It's just
Fireball.
really lackluster compared to the rest.
It does not have a lot that's going for it. That is true. But
I will say it is better. It is better than the Cavalier or not the. Am I thinking? No, not the Cavalier. I'm thinking of the Purple Dragon Knight.
Oh yeah, I didn't forget about him.
Yeah, I think it's technically got a different. Yeah, it's considered a Purple Dragon Knight. It's a whole lot better than the Purple Dragon Knight. However, I will say, comparing these two, at 10th level you gain Inspiring Surge. When you use your Action Surge feature, you can choose one creature within 60 feet of you that's allied with you. That creature can make one melee or ranged weapon attack with this reaction, provided it can see or hear you. And at 18th level, you can choose 2 allies.
Yeah, I mean that's
10th
good.
level, you get advantage against Fiend, Undead, or Shadow. 18th level, you gain advantage on saving throws against spells. And you can choose to succeed 3 times against Charmed or Frightened.
Yeah.
Overall, both are as useful and useless.
Yeah. I would rather have the Pikeman's 18.
And I would rather have the Purple Dragon Knight's 10.
Yeah.
It's not strong. It's not bad, but it is not strong.
No,
it is possibly the weakest of all these subclasses we've covered so far. I'm not disappointed. It's a lot better than the 4 elements. The 4 elements should be shunned.
Of course, that's not hard to do.
No, the 4 elements should be shunned, or it should have been done like it was in Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
Because they fixed it.
and it was busted.
But this next one is called the Sword Dancer. And this is the one that I read a little bit about like 4 months ago, and was like, yeah, this might be my favorite. But I will be honest, it's probably been replaced by the Shieldbearer.
The Shieldbearer is really good.
Sword dancers blur the line between warrior and courtier. Sword dancers are graceful and charming, with wits as sharp as their flashing blades. Fighters who follow the sword dancer archetype often attach themselves to powerful lords as bodyguards, spies, and diplomats. Bonus proficiency. Beginning when you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in their performance and persuasion skills. And light on your feet. Also at 3rd level, while wearing light or no armor, you add your charisma modifier to your armor class, and you ignore difficult terrain.
And you ignore difficult terrain.
Yes. Good, yes. But so far, I feel this would be better as a multi-class from a bard.
So far.
So far, yes.
Dust on the Wind. Starting at 7th level, when you make a melee weapon attack against a creature, you don't provoke opportunity attacks from that creature until the start of your next turn.
Huh.
Unless you can multi-class up to 7th level.
I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do. Go 10 and 10.
Well, yeah, it just depends because you're going to have to give some and take some. Do you go higher in fighter? Do you go lower in fighter? It's just one of those things. Deadly Artistry. At 10th level, after you move at least 10 feet, your melee weapon attacks deal an additional D8 damage until the start of your next turn. And that includes reaction opportunity attacks.
Yep. That's not bad.
No. Howling Edge of the Razor. Starting at 15th level, as a reaction, when you take damage from a creature within 5 feet of you, you can make one melee weapon attack against that creature.
So counterattack.
Yes. And nowhere did it say that you can't use a greatsword.
Right.
Or a battle axe and shield.
Yeah.
Or a rapier. Or a longbow.
Well, it's a creature within 5 feet of you.
I know that, but you might have a dagger tucked into your side.
That is true.
Yeah,
That's
like
very
Legolas.
true.
Teeth of Kamsin. Or Kamsin, however you say it. At 18th level, when you take the attack action, you can use the dash action as a bonus action. When you dash in this way, attack rolls made against you have disadvantage until the start of your next turn. You can use this feature twice, and you regained all expended uses at the finish of a short or a long rest.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, you could go up to 10th level with a multi-class with a bard.
But then you'd miss out on
Why
some good
would you do
stuff.
bard?
Yeah.
Why would you do bard? You
So-
wouldn't.
No.
You would do paladin. 10th level paladin, 10th level sword dancer. And I'll tell you why. Let me scroll back up. I'm going on D&D Beyond just because it's easier since I've already got the computer up. So,
Well, I was thinking bard because of the light armor on level 3.
by that point, you would have Aura of Courage for the paladin. Starting at 10th level, you and friendly creatures within 10 feet of you can't be frightened while you're conscious. Now, here's the thing. I know that they would have to be within 10 feet of you, but there are things such as the Barbarian who is going to be up front. And there's also the possibility of having another fighter in the party. Now, here's the other thing. You're going into... We haven't covered the Paladin subclasses from Kobold Press yet, obviously,
Yeah.
but you go into something like Oath of Vengeance. You're getting at in between, say... So at 3rd level, you're getting your Channel Divinity from the Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically for the... that would be Oathbreaker. Let's go back up to Vengeance. You get Abjure Enemy and Vow of Enmity. You also get your Oath spells at that level.
Yeah.
At 7th level, you're getting Relentless Avenger, so when you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, you may move up to half your speed immediately after the attack. Now, what was that with Dust on the Wind? When you make a melee attack against a creature, you don't provoke opportunity attacks.
Until the start of your next turn, yeah.
Now, it already didn't provoke opportunity attacks with the Relentless Avenger, but you would be gaining all that from the Paladin. And at 9th level specifically, with the Oath of Vengeance, you would be gaining... Yeah, with the Oath of Vengeance, between 3rd and 9th level, you'd be getting Bane, Hunter's Mark, Hold Person, Misty Step, Haste, and Protection from Energy.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that.
It would no I know people can do whatever they want, but if they're wanting to be like ridiculously strong, now the only other bars that I can see being good with this would be the Swords or Valor.
Yeah.
Because we haven't covered the Kobold Press stuff yet.
Yeah.
But a Paladin is the way to go because you're already if you know that you're going to be doing this subclass, you're going to want a good charisma. And that's going to be your spell save DCs for your smites, your spell attacks and stuff, if you have anything like that.
Yeah.
So this class is actually pretty dang good, but
It
it's
is,
not
it is
good as a standalone.
No, it's kind of like a warlock. It needs to be
Yeah.
multi-classed in.
It is very similar to a warlock and a couple of the bards, because a straight 20th level bard can get kind of dangerous too.
I mean, if you went straight 20th level on this, it wouldn't be terrible.
No, because you'd still be a fighter.
Yeah.
Of course, you'd be in light armor, but by that point, you'd have let's say a +3 studded leather. That's going to be what, a 15, +5 from your charisma, if not more, plus your shield, which could be taking you from a 20 to a 22 to a 25.
Yeah.
So realistically, it could be just as annoying as the Prescient Knight.
Yeah.
Realistically.
I could see that.
But instead of raising its AC just, all the time, it's ducking in and out, and you can't hit the
it's
thing
in and
because
out
of
of
high AC, and it's not provoking opportunity attacks, and it's dealing an extra D8 just by moving 10 feet.
Yep. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. It's better. It's better than the Pikeman.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's better than the Pikeman.
It is.
So now we're faced with a little bit of a controversy.
Mm-hmm.
What are the top 3 fighter subclasses from Kobold Press in your mind, Eric? And we can compare and contrast with stuff that's similar from, stuff we've already covered in the past. Well, first off, what are your top 3 fighter subclasses from Wizards of the Coast?
Oh Lord, I don't play fighters much, so I mean I know I've got Samurai and Psy Warrior. Maybe the Gunslinger.
Yeah,
because the Gunslinger I played, it was good, even though we didn't get to play it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Good old one Jane I had.
So Psy Warrior,
Samurai
and Gunslinger.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are your top 3 for Kobold Press? And do you think they're better than the ones that you like already?
Definitely Shieldbearer. The Ghost Knight was good.
Ghost Knight was really good.
And just for flavor, because I'm me, the Clanking Mercenary.
Makes sense. But here's the thing. My number 3, honestly, as far as lowest to highest, the 3 that I like the best from Wizards of the Coast, base level.
Mm-hmm.
My number 3, the Rune Knight.
Yeah, the Rune Knight's good.
Number 2 would probably have to go. It's kind of a hard decision, but my number 2 would probably have to go to the. Yeah, it'd have to go to the Eldritch Knight. And my favorite's going to be the Samurai. Yeah, the Samurai is possibly, it's the best in my mind.
The Samurai is a good class.
Now, the Battlemaster is really good, don't get me wrong, but I prefer the Samurai. Now, as far as the Kobold Press stuff, the Ajet is my number 3.
Okay.
The Ajet's really good. My number 2 would probably have to go seriously, honestly, to the Prescient Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Because that Ghost Knight it would be outperformed by the Prescient Knight realistically if you were to build it right.
Yeah, it could be.
And my number one is the Shieldbearer because it is in my mind, it is not game breaking.
Mm-hmm.
It is not overpowered, and it is extremely well rounded. And because here, the Prescient Knight, the Ghost Knight, and the Jet pretty much do all the work for you.
Yeah.
The Shieldbearer does a lot of the work, but you still have to build your character. You have to build him right, if you're wanting to do certain things.
Yeah.
So for that reason alone, because there's a lot of roleplay possibility there, and the fact that it's really good, the Shieldbearer is my number one.
Yeah, the Shieldbearer is a really good class.
But the question is it any better than any of the ones from 5e?
What it does as a defensive fighter, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Here's the question, though. Compare and contrast the top three from the top three. I'll take the Battlemaster over the Jet.
Yeah.
I'll take the Prescient Knight over the Rune Knight. But I would take the Shieldbearer. I would take the Samurai over the Shieldbearer. As far as playing one.
Yeah.
Now, if I was to play with one, I'd rather have the Shieldbearer.
I mean, that's a tough call for me. I like the Samurai and I like the Shieldbearer. I would probably have to flip a coin to play either one.
Well, it would come down to do I want to stand there and not be hit, or do I want to be the Samurai and be like, you know what? By what was it?
Hit me, I
level,
dare you, and I will strike back. Pretty much.
Yeah, by 18th level, let's say if you take damage that reduces you to 0 and it doesn't kill you outright, you can use your reaction to delay falling unconscious, and you can immediately take an extra turn, interrupting the current turn.
Yeah.
Just because of just sheer determination.
Yeah.
And I like that. Because you know what? This might be a TPK, but I'm taking you down with me.
Yeah, it's good. It's a final stage. It's a great theater of the mind.
Yeah. Well, that has been the fighter from Kobold Press.
And I really like them.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, out of the 9, 4 of them were game-breaking as far as regular 5e goes.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Now, like I said, Kobold Press has probably got a lot of exhaustion coming into their modules.
I would think so with the
I
first
would
three.
hope so.
Yeah.
With what we've seen out of the Chaplain, the Jet, and what was it?
The Clanking Mercenary.
Yeah, because all 3 of those were all about removing exhaustion levels.
Yeah.
But the ones that I could see easily fitting into something like Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, or Ascent to Avernus, or anything like that, would be the Shieldbearer, the Griffin Knight, and the Sword Dancer.
Yeah.
Those are the 3. Oh, maybe not so much the Chaplain because of the exhaustion levels being removed. But then again, of course, if the module is not putting a whole lot of exhaustion on them,
Mm-hmm.
and they straight up do stupid stuff to gain exhaustion, you can tell that player about, look, for the point of this module to introduce that damage, would you mind if we took away the ability to remove exhaustion, but you keep everything else? And they would probably be okay with that. But you make a stupid choice, you win a stupid prize.
Yeah.
You know? Now, like I said, some of these Kobold Press modules may have you gaining a level of exhaustion just by running into somebody.
Yeah.
Or there could be spells within Kobold Press that gives you a level of exhaustion.
Yeah, you enter the castle and you feel exhausted.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a very real possibility, and we won't know for some time.
Now, I will say, out of all of these, the Shieldbearer feels the most
5e-ish.
5e, the most
Yeah, I mean,
core. D&D 5e.
That's technically how we should refer to it, because Kobold Press stuff is technically 5e, so we technically have to say core.
Yeah, this is the most core sounding subclass out of Kobold Press.
Well, that and the Griffin Knight. The reason I say Griffin Knight is because it is the Cavalier, but on a flying mount instead of a horse.
Yeah, but I mean, you could probably transfer a Cavalier to a flying mount, couldn't you? It might not be as effective as a Griffin Knight, but some of the stuff would probably
Let me do a quick
switch over.
overview of the Cavalier again.
Because I don't think there was anything that was like you. Because the Griffin Knight, you swoop by an attack. I think the Cavalier had one of those too.
Kind of, but not really.
The Griffin Knight would be a specialization on a subclass.
Yeah. I mean, really, if you look at the two subclasses side by side, they're kind of doing the same thing, but the Griffin Knight's doing it a little bit better.
Yeah,
Because it was specifically made for a flying mount, while the Cavalier was made for a horse or, a gnome on a war dog.
Yeah, and plus there's the thing where you have to, if your Griffin dies, you got to return an egg within 4 days or something.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to avoid.
Yeah.
But realistically, KP, I know y'all probably will never listen to this, but just in case for some reason you do, heavily impressed.
Oh, definitely.
Because, I mean, there are some great homebrews on D&D Beyond that people have made.
Yeah.
But there are also some garbage ones,
Yes.
And while we may believe that 3 or 4 of the subclasses that you've listed for the fighter, and I'm sure we'll find more in the future, are broken or kind of ridiculous, it's well made.
Oh, yeah.
And they can be messed around with, because I know that Midgar is probably a lot harder than Faerun. They can be kind of messed around and modified to make Faerun doable.
Yeah.
To where they don't have to be as powerful as they would have had to have been in Midgar. As what I'm going to make as an assumption, But thank you so much for listening in to this 3-part series. Next, I believe it's time we go down something a little darker. The next time you hear from us on Kobold Press subclasses, we start the Warlock.
Ooh.
And in the meantime, keep rolling high. And we'll see you in the next one.